Instagram is coming up. Facebook is trying to get its face together. See if YouTube takes 3 minutes. Hey, YouTube says it went live right away.
Oh, it's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
All right. I think.
Are we up on everything?
I think.
And is there audio?
Why aren't you streaming? Instagram's not yet. Let's see what's going on here.
Got to get Insta.
I think we're on Instagram now.
Insta famous.
Just confirm.
Yep.
Hey, we're good.
All right. Looks like we're up, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 34th 034 Motorsport Live Chat. It's a pretty impressive accomplishment, I'd say. Almost in a row.
34 weeks of this? Yeah, I think we only had
34
two
shows in 35 weeks. Shows. It's just us talking. But as always, a question and answer live chat feed. I don't know what they're called these days. And we're here to answer any of your questions. Anything you'd like to hear us talk about. Unfortunately, it's a one-way conversation, but you can always
sort of.
respond.
I mean, we're pulling your questions directly from either Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. So and that's another point. If you don't see the question that on whatever you're viewing the stream on, it's probably coming from one of the other feeds.
That's right. So. Yeah. But we're here to discuss any topics about 034 Motorsport, products, the company, our history, anything you'd like to know about Nate and I, and general automotive.
Oh, we can get one out of the way quick. Do you have crackling on stage 1? All right, we're back into our crackle mode.
We got crackles.
Crackle
questions.
B8. Yeah, for the B8, we do on anything that's a test pipe file.
Yeah, anything for racing and test pipe.
Yeah, we'll have overrun crackles enabled when you're in sport mode.
All right. Oh, let's get into it. Look at the questions here on my phone. So I promise I'm not on Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is. What other questions we got coming in?
Let's see here. Regarding the RS3 downpipe, what are the pros and cons to the Eurocat you've chosen compared to the GC cats? I understand cost difference is big, but what else is there to cell count affect sound levels?
Well, okay. I mean, there's no such thing as a GESI cat or whatever. It's a brand. It's a company that makes cats. As we've discussed before, we've chosen not to use name brand catalytic converters simply because there's no need for us to have a middleman in between the catalytic converter manufacturer and us, which simply just drives up the cost. Catalytic converters, is not some new space age technology. We simply specify the flow and the level of catalyzation that we like from the product, which in most cases these days is Euro 3 or Euro 4. And then we have a very reputable company that's ISO certified, and we test products and everything, and they manufacture to our specifications. So I think there's a little bit of people think that this brand is better than that, and we're not saying there's anything wrong with the GESI cat or who's the other big one that does them from the UK.
Oh yeah,
HK.
No.
Anyways,
HJS.
There's a number of brands. These are. I mean, we could have started a catalytic converter brand and positioned it as something special. We just, we put our technology and our engineering behind the 034 Motorsport brand. So you are buying a high quality, world-class quality 034 Motorsport product that we stand behind, and we do the engineering on it, and we deliver a product that we would put up against anything from any brand out there. So, I don't know. I think this thing in the catalytic converter world where people like to brand the cat, and we just don't see the point. It's a 034 Motorsport brand. As far as quality, we believe that ours will flow almost as well as a test pipe for certainly on a DAZA up to the stock turbo level power. It's
easily.
Easily the same as a test pipe. and it'll easily support high power hybrid turbo options as well. And they are rated at Euro 3, so what comes out of the tailpipe is quite clean. It's not going to pass U.S. emissions now in 2020, but it would have, at some point, 10, 15 years ago in the past, maybe even less, depending on what state you're in. And so, you get out of the car, there's no stinky, nasty, noxious exhaust fumes. There's not soot all over your bumper. It's basically the same experience you'd have with the factory Cali converter, but with none of the flow restriction. So, all right. How much ethanol can I run without an ethanol file?
This really depends on the platform. I'm assuming it's this person is asking for one that we don't have an ethanol file for
technically,
currently.
you're not supposed to run any.
Yeah.
We have to
that's
be careful.
that's a really tough one to a blanket statement on.
This is a slippery slope because the tunes that we sell, the files we sell, are engineered for different fuel octanes or blend mixes. The only E85 file that we offer for the 3.0T is an E40 blend. That's it. So it's either 0 or 40%. That's the official.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have any issues or any problems. Now, if you'd like to experiment, you can. That's on you. We haven't done it. We've chosen to spend our engineering effort optimizing the files that we do offer. But I don't know. So yeah, it's a tough question. Technically, we have to say 0% is the right amount if you're not on the E40 file. What sway bar should I do first, front or rear? It'd be good to know what the application is.
Yeah, try and post up what car you're asking for here, because there's a pretty big, I think handling dynamic difference between cars here.
Anyone that answers that question the way it is shouldn't be answering the question. So, but I'll just speak generally. I would say on the typical Audi Quattro car, like an S4, S5, S6, the bigger chassis Quattro cars, definitely the rear bar would be the way to go. In fact, we don't even offer a front bar for many of those applications because we don't believe that there would be a benefit to handling by increasing the front roll stiffness. On an MQB car, which especially a front wheel drive version, I think there's a good argument to be made to upgrading the front, since that's where all the traction is happening. And based on the fact that it's a front wheel drive car, the handling dynamic and what you do with the roll bars is a little bit different than what you would do for a rear wheel drive car or a Quattro car.
Yep.
I think on a MQB Quattro car, you could just do the rear, and we do offer an option for that. But typically for the MQB cars, we do a front and rear setup, and that's what we recommend that people run.
Yep.
But you can start with the rear one if you want, or the front in the MQB applications. If you really want to do it right, just get what we recommend, get both. But I think if you have like a B9A4 or a B9S4, I would definitely say look at just the rear. And if you guys are on today, hang in there or stay tuned. We're going to do some giveaways throughout the show to celebrate show number 34. We'll be giving away some 034 swag. Let's see.
I have no idea what that top question means.
What was
highlighted.
Is this broadcast stage 1, stage 2, or custom tune?
No idea.
Yeah, we're not sure what that means. Feel free to clarify.
They like the production quality of our broadcast.
Oh,
is the level of broadcast?
Yes.
For me, this would be a stage 1. We're
yeah.
This is not my forte. But.
That's funny though. My B.5 S4 is making roughly 25 to 26 psi. Is it okay to run the factory 2.5 bar sensor? Would it make sense to eventually use a 3 bar?
So this question I get a lot, and there's a lot of confusion around this because a lot of people are measuring their boost pre-intercooler on these cars, which is like generally 2 to 3 to 4 psi higher than what is actually getting into the motor, where the map sensors are. So What I would suggest is log it. Chances are really good you're still within the map sensor's reading, and you would have no reason or benefit to go to a bigger sensor. Now, if you're pegging the map sensors on your logs, I'd want to know what pulley ratios you're running because that's going to be a lot of boost for the stock charger.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot us a log. We can go over it with you and let you know what you're really running at the motor. But yeah, a lot of guys are have a boost gauge or a pressure tap or whatever it is pre-intercooler core at usually it's at the bypass valve, and that reading's quite a bit can be quite a bit higher than the one at the map sensor. So
Cool. Dying for a KO4 on my B8.5 all-road. Any tunes for this turbo in the next 6 months or so? Yeah, very possible.
yep, quite possible.
We are jumping into the B8 tuning program in January, so a couple weeks from now. We're finishing up our DAZA Stage 2 release, which is way overdue. You guys will see a release of that in the next couple weeks, probably early to mid-January, and then that particular engineering effort will switch over to the B8 A4 platform. So we definitely plan on doing Stage 1, Stage 2, and a KO4 file. So if you guys have seen any KO4 configurations that you like that are readily available, let us know.
Yeah, we're still pretty open on the hardware side of things.
Because the KO4 is from a longitudinal, it doesn't fit it's from a transverse, it doesn't fit the longitudinal without modifications. So we're either looking at modifying turbos, or better would just be to use a piece of hardware that's already available.
Yep.
Since it's been being done for so long. So, but yeah, definitely stay tuned and look for some exciting stuff with the B8A4. Any other finishes in the plan for ZTF01? We don't have a plan right now, but we're definitely open to it. We will definitely be offering different colors in the future. Right now, we're the whole color thing's a tough one, and of course, people like different color wheels. But we're focusing our effort on bringing the high quality wheel itself and the fitment and the selection to different models to market right now, as opposed to offering one wheel with a bunch of different colors. We'd like to offer a number of wheels and a nice, acceptable color. So if you really want the wheel, I know locally you can get wheels painted for about $100 a wheel in any color you want. So that could be an option for you. But we're really not getting into wheels for the colors. We're getting into wheels for the performance, the fitments, the function. And they also happen to look beautiful and nice as well. And the silver that we chose is very classic German color, which is right over here. But I don't think we're not going to be offering all those myriad of colors anytime real soon. But I think what we need to do is we need to get to a point where we can find someone locally who can paint wheels for us on demand, and then there's a 3-week lead time before wheels ship. So that's where we'll get eventually, hopefully in the next year or so. And then we would be bringing in wheels unpainted, most likely, for that reason.
What do you think about giving away one shirt right now via our poll?
You bet. Let's do it. So we have various shirt options, but this is our latest 034 shirt. This is in a gray color that we haven't offered before. It's a real nice material.
He's got the screen here.
Yeah, I can see it right here. You just can't see the very bottom of the shirt, which I think is okay. So anyways, I guess we'll just have to figure out what size they're going to need and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll reach out. We put up a poll Sunday on our Instagram, and that's how we had people vote to enter. And we randomly selected a name from the yes category and the yes and red category. So the first winner is rs.gabe5. Appears to be an Audi RS5 owner.
Sweet.
Instagram handle rs.gabe5 will IM you to get you set up.
All right. Congratulations, rs5.gabe.
Gabe.
RS Gabe.
Dot five. Yeah.
Okay.
Dot Gabe 5.
Gabe RS. It sounds like a movie car. All right.
Don't worry, Mr. Stuckey. We've got a couple other things coming up.
Yeah, we got more stuff coming. And, of course, these fine products are are for sale always. I was thinking we should put all the swag on sale for like the next 2 weeks, just because Christmas.
I like that.
Yeah. See how mad Gary gets, but
Fine.
what are the general benefits of switching to your tuning
For a B8S4?
for a B8S4? Of course, I think that would apply towards anything. We've talked about this a lot, so I don't know if you guys want to link any clip outs on this, but generally, especially for the B8S4, our tune is very current. It's probably the most, or one of the two most current developed tunes on the market today. We offer features and functionality in our tuning that you can't get from anyone else.
Yep.
We really apply a different approach to tuning than a lot of companies. We are enthusiasts ourselves. We are world-class engineers ourselves. And so when we're designing and engineering these products, we're not just trying to get a product to market, but we're really trying to get the best one to market. We're really trying to get one to market that an Audi enthusiast like ourselves would love and appreciate beyond what anyone else would put into the product. We have an incredible tuning record with these cars, world record acceleration times in the quarter mile, thousands and thousands of happy customers, and a very safe tune that goes very fast. We are now starting to see some customers that are kind of pushing the hardware of the motor to the limit with modifications above and beyond what we recommend or specify for the tune. And you could link last week's show where we talk about this as well.
Yeah, and we go over. We offer a lot of after flash support.
Yeah.
So if you have logs, you have any questions, you want to hit us up with how things are going. We have a free data logger for anybody that's running our files.
You're not going to find better support.
Yeah, we'll if there's any questions, we'll help you get the data you need for any issues you've got, which actually leads up to a question coming up here.
I mean, we literally have 5 people here doing tech support for just tuning.
Yeah, we strive to be incredibly active and on top of any questions and concerns you've got regarding anything tune related, flash related, performance related, you name it.
Yeah. Oh, ugly. So yeah, I think we won't spend too much time, no more time on that because it's
we're a little biased too, so it's a tough one to
go run in my office and or my desk.
Yeah.
The drawer here.
Yeah.
Open that and bring the thing that's in there here.
It's to do with what's on the screen.
Yeah.
I see.
How's the carb approval process going? It's going very well.
Yep, it's going well. We had to do a couple of extra steps recently just to further ensure we had everything covered for the vehicles we were trying to apply for. So we've actually had to test 3 vehicles now to kind of span the calibrations we're looking to offer. So that's all been done. They all passed. We had no issues with the tests process at all.
Yeah.
So we're just down to the paperwork now.
Yeah.
This is for the calibrations, for stage 1 calibrations.
I think at this point, anyone who buys a B8 or MQB stage 1 tune can feel pretty good knowing that there's a carb approval process coming.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Carb approval EO coming.
Yep.
The process is.
Yep. They'll be listed, in their own little section, just because this is part of how the carb system has to work. You have to flash a specifically labeled file for it to be part of the process, but it'll be available to anyone on a stage 1 configuration.
Yeah. Someone's asking, are there plans to release 4.0T engine mounts this century? Yeah, I think we'll be good.
Zeroing in on this century. Yeah.
It didn't happen this year. Fortunately, 1 year is 1/100.
We could have released a mount that we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
That would have had issues.
Well, that's our problem, not theirs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's we're doing everything we can to get this out.
The good news is it will be released in less than 1/100th of a century. So I think we'll definitely be releasing something in the spring by then. So stay tuned. We're sorry, as we always say.
We know there's an issue with those mounts. We know you guys are rolling through the factory ones.
There's an issue with the factory ones. They suck.
Yeah. I'm talking factory stuff here.
Do density motor mounts for the MQB GTI increase NVH? Minimal.
Yeah.
The street density are very good, and they're designed to basically feel just about the same as stock NVH, but with much better performance. I might have thrown it away. I think I cleaned up recently.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Thanks for checking.
It was pretty epic.
So there's a minimal NVH, but there is some that you may notice in reverse or at idle. Once the car's driving, I really don't think there'll be any noticeable NVH. It also depends how many inserts you have, what kind of inserts, what dog bone on.
A lot of it comes down to also people notice it at like stoplights with DSGs. And some of that can be DSG service or health as well. Some are a little heavier on the clutch, or the flywheel's got a little more wear in it, so there's a little more shock loading back and forth as it's sitting at idle. So it's pretty minimal overall, but you may notice a little bit here and there. And it's usually just at idle at a stop, or like Javad said, when you put it in reverse and the gearbox is kind of just sitting there slipping the clutch a little bit.
But here's the thing with mounts. If it feels the same as stock, it's probably the same as stock.
Right.
There's just no free lunch. The more you stiffen up the mount, the more you're going to feel it. And so, there's sort of a range within the stock mounts that they're so far below where you can feel it that we're able to close that gap. But I don't know. It's kind of like when I hear like high flow cats that pass factory emissions. That's a factory cat. Like there's a narrow range of specifications that a catalytic converter has to have to pass factory emissions. And it's the same with a motor or drivetrain solution. So the stiffer, more control you have, the more you're going to feel it. So I would say the fact that you could feel it every once in a while is a reassuring that you bought a product that actually does something and isn't just snake oil, which there are plenty of products out there like that.
Yep. And by the way, you know that guy,
Conrad?
Torsten?
Yeah. Oh, Thorsten. Yeah, how's it going?
Yep. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry Christmas. So let's see.
All kinds of questions here. We're getting them from everywhere.
Hello from Botswana. Love your brand and products. Question: what would I do suspension-wise after fit my Stage 3 turbo to keep things planted? I've got springs, but sways or anything else I need.
I think this guy has a GTI.
A GTI, okay. Well, I would apply to any model. Just go on our website and see what we offer. Certainly, any of our suspension products, springs, sway bars, inserts are all going to help you have more control over this car.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he says he has springs. Should he add sway bars?
Yeah, definitely.
I would say absolutely.
I would do all of it. Do the sway bars, do the inserts. We make it all for a reason, and it all does something to help your car handle and drive.
And one of the big ones a lot of people miss out or don't quite appreciate until it's in there is the rear trailing arms, the upgraded bushing on those, or the bearing in those. That's a huge suspension upgrade that really helps lock those down. The stock ones will move like I think about an inch back and forth, and it really changes
the rear trailing arms.
The rear trailing arms
that's a
on the
big one.
MQBs. So that's a huge upgrade.
Motor and transmission mounts are
going
to help you get more control,
the transition
power.
feel. Yep.
So shoot us an email if you have any questions about what specific mods do. We'd love to help. That's why we do what we do. Should we give away another shirt?
Absolutely.
All right.
So we picked from the Yes in Red category, and the winner is Ben Strahan. That's Ben Strahan on Facebook and Instagram.
Congrats, Ben.
We'll reach out and get it coordinated with you.
He has a real name too, so that's good.
That helps.
Yeah. Congrats, Ben. We will be in touch. All right. Someone says, y'all got to stop blowing up 3.0 T motors. DeRose Arrogant. That's his name, DeRose Arrogant?
That's his Instagram handle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, go ahead and let us know what engines we've blown up. We'd like to know.
Yeah, I mean, to date, we still haven't seen a single.
Yeah. I don't know where
explanation.
This person doesn't even have a name, but if I could refer them refer to them by their name, I would, and ask them to please send us any and all information they have on motors that we've blown up.
I will take any of it and do everything we possibly can with it. But as I mentioned before, we have, free logging tools, free data, free, feedback from several tuners here. If you have any questions on your tune, we'll go over them at any time. And to date, we haven't seen any data or information, after the fact from any of these motors that indicates that there was a fundamental tuning issue.
Yeah, in a few of these cases, I've seen it was found to be that the supercharger intercooler cores were indeed leaking.
That's something we've talked about before.
That's not the tune blowing up a motor.
Yeah.
So DS Surrogance, whatever your name is, if you say we're blowing up motors, then send us the information.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just trolling.
Yeah, we will take any information, data, or otherwise. We are completely open with our data, as you've seen.
We're completely open, but right
our
now,
logging tools and our communications. We're not hiding anything. If there's something we can fix, we will fix it.
Yeah. So we'd like to know, but if you don't have real information, then you're just trolling. So, and we don't really have time for that. Any plans to add DS1 type fuel options for the RS3? Oh, flex fuel options for the RS3.
Yeah, we have a number of flex fuel solutions that we will be working on.
We will offer flex fuel for our normal Motronic, tuning.
Yeah.
And we are talking to DS1, and we would really like to work with them on some products. We really respect them, and we respect the technology that they've created. So definitely, one of the many things we're looking at doing in 2021. Okay.
One of our followers says the tune merely blew his mind, not blew the motor.
Yeah, that's true.
That's likely.
I don't know about
It does blow minds. No arguing that, and there's plenty of evidence to suggest that that's true. Do's and don'ts of running E85 on the Daza TTRS. What's the minimum ethanol content when running stage 1, 2 E85? The range around here in eastern Missouri seems to be 51 to 85%.
Yeah, so we list this on the website, but we strongly recommend E60 or better to ensure you've got a known and tested quantity of ethanol in there.
E60 should be good, and we sell a gauge kit
that
you can install and easily see what the percentage is.
Yep. So E60 is kind of where we like to call the comfort level there.
Around here, it's like E80.
We're lucky. I don't know if we're lucky or how common it is, but our stations around here are pretty much dialed
like
at E80.
80 point something. Every time. I mean, it's dialed, but
and then as far
50's on the low side from what I've seen.
Yeah. As far as other do's and don'ts, just get a gauge. Keep an eye on things.
Yeah, make sure you have a gauge.
Make sure your gauge is working, and so you've got an idea that there can be some fluctuation. It sounds like at your pumps, so definitely get a gauge on there and keep an eye on it.
Yeah. And also, don't kill yourself, because
it's a lot faster.
It's a really fast car. Even with the stock turbo, people think you need to go big turbo on these cars. You don't. The stock turbo, it's like a GT30R.
It's a lot of power.
GTX 30R size turbo. It's an impressive car, power wise. On track or even on the street, I really love the stock turbo.
Yeah.
I think if you have, a lot of room to run, and the car will have longer legs with a big turbo, but
or if you've got specific, track desires, there's certainly always there's always room for more.
All right, so this is our old 034 mug that we sold for years. This is our new one. So it's much bigger.
With some spilled. Some
signs
of life on it.
All right, it's bigger, and the logo is 2 colors. And sorry, left-handed people, but the mug now favors the majority of right-handed people in the world as far as the logo goes. So
does it? Because I like seeing my logo when I tip it up. I guess I'm not.
Yeah, I guess
I'm not broadcasting.
Coffee tastes delicious out of it. So we would like to give 2 away.
Yes.
All right.
You have to answer these questions correctly to win it. So
all right.
1 question per mug.
So first question, the first person that answers correctly what does 034 mean?
I might be able to put
in
this,
our
I
name.
wish I had known about this before. I could probably put this on the screen.
So let's start with that one. And a second is, what does a crackle sound like? Best answer wins. And I guess this is Nick and Sean are the judges of what does a crackle sound like? And we're going to try to put these on the screen.
John Palumbo came in as the first one to answer what 034
Nice, John.
is.
Good.
It's the engine code of a 5-cylinder.
That's right. Nice. It's not technically the engine code though, right?
Not necessarily. It's the first three.
It's close enough though, and
It's the
because
family.
it's John, we'll be happy to. So yes, the 034 is part of the Audi 5-cylinder part number group of Volkswagen Audi part numbers. The 9-digit part numbers would start with 034, and then we will let the crackle answers roll in because I'm sure those will take a minute to get going.
Sorry, I'm working on getting it getting it up here. I'm sure we're gonna have some good ones.
I can only imagine
Yeah.
some of the responses.
It sounds like freedom.
Mark.
The sound of freedom. That's pretty good. I thought that was like the sound of guns shooting.
Crackle sounds like a Giuliani fart.
Any updates on the ZF8 transmission tune? Nothing substantial. We're still offering it as beta.
Yeah.
We've sold lots of them. We have lots of people running them, and we're fixing things as issues come up.
Yep.
But I don't know. Do you anything more?
No,
you wanna
that's
say?
exactly it. I mean, it's still something we're working on. I can't apparently change the font on this to have an outline, so it's going to be a little janky looking here. Let me.
Can't change the color to black.
No, I'm working on it.
I want him to win.
Wasn't expecting to quick throw some text up here.
All right. Let's keep going. Any plans for a basic tutorial on logging? Yes.
Yep.
That's something we need to work on. Maybe when Nick's not laughing about crackles, put that on the list. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to something we're working on or
Sorry, repeat that.
the logging?
So there's a couple of
Yes.
there's a
The
couple of
logging
parts to this
video.
question. I think it was in terms of timing, etc. So we try and make it right now as simple as possible. So I don't know if this might be coming from someone who hasn't quite got the logger or doesn't have the logger yet, but we shoot you an email with a quick little, literally
Once you buy it.
once we send it to you.
Yeah.
It's literally you plug in a cable and you press a button, and that is it right now. It will connect to your car the first time. You have to be online. Then it'll jump to our servers, grab the definition file it needs, and it's up and running. And for 99.9% of the logging we need, that's all you have to do. If you want to dig deeper and look at your own stuff, we can maybe go into more depth than that. But right now with our logging, we have it set up. We're capturing enough data we need for fueling, timing, boost controls, intake temps. So it's a pretty good swath of data from for the majority of health checks that anybody's going to need for any of these cars. So we try and make it as quick and easy as possible. But yeah, it's literally plug a cable in, hit one button, and the logger fires up.
Yeah. So I mean that would be a quick, easy video to make. I think inevitably that will lead to people asking questions about what the logging means and what to be looking for.
Sure. We can certainly
a whole
help
nother ball.
help educate a little more on what the data correlates to.
But currently, the logging tool is a tool for us to be able to
help you
evaluate the customer's car. It's a support tool. It's not a tuning evaluation tool for the customer at this point.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, again, if you are a savvy customer and have kind of know what you're looking at, you can. We don't hide anything. Again, you can get in there and you can use the logger to whatever ends you want. So
Yeah.
it's a very capable logger. There's a lot more to it than most people are using. You can set up triggers and thresholds and capture points and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the most part, click a button and go, and we'll get what we need.
We need to be clear. It's not a end user tool for tuning. and evaluation purposes.
Yeah, no, it's not going to tell you what problems there are or anything like that. It's
just for us to be able to see what's going on with your car.
It's a data collection.
Yeah.
So I have 2 winners for the Crackle answer.
All right.
They were very good ones. The first winner is, and can I just say, there's been an outpouring of response to this.
I guess
It's been humbling.
Should have set a time frame on that.
It truly is humbling, and we appreciate all of the input. So the first winner is B. Tyler, 1688. His response is people's necks cracking as you go by.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Okay. B. Tyler, nice one.
B. Tyler. S4.Daytona is the other winner. I'm not sure that we can actually repeat his answer. It was that good. So,
Does it have to do with vaginas or farts or what?
No.
Worse than that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one. So yeah, those are our 2 winners, and maybe if another one comes in that's inspiring enough, we'll throw one more.
Okay. All right. Well, good job, everybody. Someone's asking, I have a stage 2 GTI with rear sway bar and end links. For track, will the addition of the front sway bar make a difference? Yes.
It'll certainly make a difference. I mean,
you need it, especially on track. Because
turn in improves quite a bit on the GTIs.
The big issue on these front wheel drive cars is as you want to apply power, especially in a corner, any kind of body roll lifts the inside tire off the ground. So a stiffer front sway bar will reduce the rolling of the front of the suspension and keep both your tires, more weight on both your front tires. Without any sway bar, you would probably lift your inside front tire off the ground in many instances. But what happens is as more weight comes off that inside tire, it just spins. And then your diff tries to send, if you have a limited slip diff, it will try to send as much power as it can to the outside tire, but one tire has a lot less traction than 2. If you have an open front diff, which most cars will, you'll just be spinning that inside tire. No power will be going anywhere. You literally won't be able to accelerate. So a limited slip diff, it really helps on track, and having the right front sway bar, in which case we've designed one, will also help you accelerate sooner out of the corners. Otherwise, you'll just be left with trying to accelerate in a straight line. Let's see. Stage 2 E85 DAZA ETA, definitely January.
Yep.
So we can say that with full confidence.
Yep.
How much knock correction is considered acceptable on Stage 1 and Stage 2 tunes on B8.5 S4?
Depends on the fuel you're running. I like to see fairly minimal. I'm talking like 2 to 3 degrees. Is usually where we want to see things.
Yeah.
And there is quite a fluctuation in fuel quality around the nation. So if you're running a 93 file and getting a bunch of correction, just drop to the 91. You're not going to get less power out of it. It's just means you're going to be operating, more ideally within, what your fuel in your area can sustain. So, again, if you've got any questions on it too, just shoot us an email. We can certainly either set you up with a logger. Oh, I guess if you know what your corrections are, you've got a logger. Let us know. We can advise one way or the other.
Someone's asking, will the closed carbon B8 intake be produced, or has it been replaced with the open one? Right. We will not release a closed intake for the B8. We did have an older design, which was really cool. It would have been at least $1,000, probably more like $1,300. And so we reversed course on that and released the current design, which we've released for $345. Now keep in mind, when you shut your hood, our open intake becomes closed. So our intake is not necessarily open to the engine compartments, not to a very big degree. When you shut the hood, like when you're driving,
let's hope,
cool air from the front core support inlet area and any air that comes in around the headlight will be contained and directed into the engine, just like a closed intake would. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. When you pop your hood, you got some eye candy. When you shut it, everything works how it's supposed to. But the intake is open enough that the air filter is not shrouded in any way, and that there's never going to be any pressure drop in that intake area like you would see in a fully closed intake. That's funny. We recently saw that one of the popular closed intakes, not for the 3.0T, but from another company, was recently modified to be open on the bottom. So it sounds like people are starting to figure out what makes a good intake flow and adjusting accordingly. But we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Difference between H&R and 034 springs. We answered this like last week or the week before. We should have a clip
we'll have it
to post. There's a lot of differences. Hopefully we can post our previous response.
We also have a video going in depth on our springs versus coilovers. I think that is a better comparison.
That's also good too. Yeah. What's the oldest company car you currently have? I think it's the B8S4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a 2011.
Yep.
So yeah, it's interesting time. But I always think about this. When I started 034 Motorsport in like 2004, 2005, my 80 was an 88, but there was those went through 92. So it was not really.
It's crazy.
Not a very old.
Those seem like so old.
It was
such an old platform.
It was basically one generation. And like by today's standards, it would have been like a B7.
Well, it's
or it would have been the B8 kind of.
It would have been the B8 because there was the B5 came after that, which was current when we were. Yeah. But I guess we were B6 then, so it would have been the B7 generation.
As a whole, as a company, by 04 it was B6. As a whole, we've moved to engineering products for much newer cars.
Basically, current production stuff.
And the B8's a very popular application, and it's every model in this market has a life cycle where it ramps up in the beginning, and then there's kind of a 5-year period where there's a lot of cars out there. The prices have come down. They're in second and third owner. They're out of warranty, and the modifications ramp up aggressively. And so we're in that phase with the B8. We never really hit there with the B6, B7. There was there just wasn't much you could do with those cars. But the B5 has really tapered off. For example, B5 kind of probably peaked in like 2010 to 2015 range.
Yeah, well, the B6 and the B7 just suffered. There was no forced induction.
They weren't
S model. It was.
There was some stuff with the B6 180 and then the B7 2.0T, but those cars are on their way out as well. And the B8's really strong right now, but the B8 will start tapering off, and the B9 will take over.
Yep.
And we already see the B9 ramping up. We must sell more B9 products than anyone in the industry. I mean. We have a full complete product line we have for years now.
Yep.
So but more and more we have cars in our engineering stable that are just a year or two old.
Yep.
At the most. So, transmission service, good, bad? Do you recommend? If so, at what intervals? I would just follow factory. Service guidelines,
really
unless you're really punishing.
Yeah, it really depends on your. Again, I don't know what car we're talking about here, but B8s you can typically stick to the factory intervals for the full service. Those seem to do okay with that. The DQ250s, if you're running them hard, did appreciate a little earlier service, but it depends how you're driving it. It's very dependent on conditions and how it's driven.
Yeah, but
At least factory.
Sure. But you could always go. Should we give away more stuff?
Absolutely. So we have a question for our upcoming 15th anniversary shirt.
Yes.
If they answer this question correctly, they'll get one of our first anniversary shirts.
Yes.
And that question is, what was the 034 dev car that started the company? Javad already alluded to it today in our live.
Yes. The very first 034 Motorsport development car, which 100% helped launch the company.
A hint, it may or may not be in the background of today's live.
God, that's too easy.
That might have tipped things a little.
You can't really see it.
All right, so let's see what answers come in for that.
Already in.
What do we got?
Eric Simanowitz says Audi 80.
Audi 80, yes.
Do we need to get a little more specific, I think? What
Yeah,
year?
what was the name? What was the name of the project?
Yeah. There's a
Because
whole
because
website.
I
There was a
coined,
website about.
I coined this name of this project that was greatly emulated afterwards.
This website's still up. By the way.
I know, and the website is still up.
If in a bonus points, you'll get I don't know, another shirt if you can actually shoot the website for it.
Yeah, I've fought to keep the website going for the last 20 years.
So
I think you might have stumped him with the project name.
Oh, come on! I mean, it's the name of the project, and it does have a website.
We'll give them some time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's literally 20 years old.
That's a website I made in college using HTML.
But you found it.
Lots of good questions.
It's easy to find.
All right, the correct answer is in. Kevin Chan with 80TQ.
All right, nice one, Kevin. Yeah, so 80tq.com is still up, and it kind of gives you a glimpse of, the process that led to starting the company. We still kind of do things more or less the same way as I did them with this car. We just have a lot more expertise, engineering, resources, and badass smart people doing it than just me in my in the parking lot of my condominium complex. Yes, so 80TQ was the name of the project, and it definitely helped start the company. So it's still a well-known car. The car, I sold it about, 6 years ago to a gentleman in Ohio who's been running it at 1 mile events out there, and has had a lot of fun with the car from what I know.
Yep.
I haven't heard from him lately, but the car it's perfect for that. It left here with about 800 horsepower, revving to 9,500 RPM. Very, very capable car. I see a thread on AudiZine about different timing amounts on the B8S4s with the same tune file. Are there variations between box codes for how much timing is given, or variations between cars?
Yeah, so I actually replied to that thread. The biggest thing is people are comparing data from two different data logging tools. For one of them has completely different variable names to another. So we have no idea of knowing what variables are even being logged between from the other tool to ours. So first and foremost, you've got to standardize that and compare tunes, with equal loggers and start there. But yeah, generally there should be essentially no, if everything is the same, you're going to get the same numbers going out in and out. So usually it's down to some difference. You're not either logging, whether it's, EGTs or, air temps or something. Again, it really depends what data is coming in that the ECU is determining the output from.
If I wanted to read between the lines of this question, I would say no, there are not some people with better files than others.
Yeah, no, everything's the files.
Everyone has the same optimal files.
Should perform the same.
That give the peak advertised performance or better that we advertise. So, So everyone's getting the best file, and I think any differences account for how the timing is being logged or measured.
Yeah. Or there's some subtleties and boost differences, atmospheric pressure differences. There's a ton of different things.
Giving different.
We're talking like a couple degrees here, here and there. So there's quite a bit that goes into it.
Someone's asking about the B8S4 surge tank, fuel surge tank, as run in the world record car. We don't have a release date for it. We are finishing the install kit for the MQB DAZA application initially, and then we will release the B8 kit. So I would say probably in the next, in the maybe late winter, early spring timeframe. We're almost done with the DAZA kit, so it's definitely coming. And thanks for your patience. Are there any benefits of the 4-inch over the 3-inch intakes on a stage one RS3 TTRS DAZA? There is. It's small.
Yeah, and you've got to run all the way down to the turbo. So you need the turbo inlet as well to a full 4-inch to really see the benefit.
That's right. Yeah. So if you have the stock turbo inlet, the difference between the 4-inch and our older, tapering 3-inch is very minimal.
Yeah.
We still have those older, smaller intakes that we're selling at a very good price.
Yep.
So if you're in the stage 1 market and you want frankly, the best flowing, most optimal intake for your car, that's a great option. We're moving away from that design because more of the market wants 4-inch, people want upgrade pads, etc. But again, if you're just stage 1, stage 2, and you're keeping the stock turbo inlet, then our existing intakes that are on sale are an amazing value. And there's really no difference to putting in a 4-inch. Because the 3-inch, it's a 4-inch to 3-inch tapering design.
Yeah, you're still getting the same
well.
filter. You're still getting, it's a really nice flow path all the way to the turbo inlet.
Yep.
So.
Tiguan tunes. Someone's asking about stage 2 IS38 turbo.
The Tiguan's kind of its own unique beast as far as ECUs and tuning. We will probably get to it at some point, but it's not on our immediate roadmap. That's got its own ECU, its own kind of configuration. It's a little different than everything else.
Generally isn't very prioritized in the market, unfortunately. What gains have you seen for the B8S4 with your throttle body? We've talked about this many times. I mean, it's a peak power at peak RPM type mod. So you start to see power increase at around 55 to 6,000 RPM.
It's way up there because you're waiting to the point where you're basically overcoming the flow limits of the stock inlet setup.
And so at 5,500 to 6,000, you start to see a power gain there all the way to red line.
And this is on a bone stock motor, bone stock charger, So
and it's about another 5 to 10 horsepower up there. It's never been a big power modification.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody's said about other products out there.
It's not like it's limited on ours. We're talking from Ultracharger to other brands. The gains are there, but they're just not very big. Yeah. Now, the gains with the throttle body plate adapter ones are very small. We've, in some cases, seen no gains with that. Simply because there's just too abrupt of a transition between the throttle plate and the intake manifold. So we would recommend staying away from those. We will be releasing our we should have grabbed the aluminum version.
Oh, yes.
We'll be releasing ours soon in the next few months, and we'll provide all the data like we do with everything. We're getting 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Any plans on designing upgraded intercoolers for the B8? Nothing that specific, but we're taking a look at the B8 and how to improve the intercooling of this application in general. That could mean trying to upgrade the cores, but frankly,
it's such a space constraint issue.
You're not going to fit a better core in there and get any meantough improvements. So
I mean, you can maybe drop the charge temperature a little bit, but you're probably going to sacrifice flow. So it's tough. It's a really small package.
You could put a more dense turbulator in there, which would more efficiently pull out heat, but then it would be a restriction. So we're looking at solutions. We don't necessarily think that changing the cores in the existing intake manifold will see any improvements. If there's companies that are saying that, I would be very skeptical.
Yeah, let's just be skeptical. Ask for the actual same day data. If ideally logs, pressures before and after, that kind of thing that you would use to evaluate that kind of a hardware piece.
Let's see. A stock supercharger and throttle body, 6-speed transmission B8S4 running your E40 methanol tune and upgraded headers made 515 wheel. Where a stage 2 plus DSG E40 B8S4 with ported blower and ported ultracharger made 496 wheel on the same dyno day. Do headers add more power than porting a blower throttle body?
That's a really tough one to answer.
Really tough to say.
I mean, without seeing data we're going to go back to data. Without seeing the data from both of these cars, we don't know, what intake temps were between the two, if they were exactly the same, level of heat soak, the same, performance on the cooling system. It doesn't say on here. I don't know if the other car was running meth or not. So I don't know offhand if he was on a meth file. If he wasn't, okay. Then yeah, meth systems also vary quite a bit. So again, it's really hard to say without data.
That's a 3.6% difference between the two cars. That's really a small difference.
Right.
It's definitely a chunk of power, but there, like Nate said, there's just too many variables to draw any conclusions. So yeah, I don't know what the parasitic loss to the DSG is.
So that's the other thing is potential DSG loss issues. Another one that people don't account for is tires and what wheel and tire setup is on there. That can actually
tires,
affect
air pressure,
a stupid amount.
Could easily account for 3%. And it's well documented, and this is something we see as well too. We used to go to dyno competitions, and we would play with tire pressures and win, simply because we had an optimal amount of air in the tire, and our competitor didn't.
Yeah, you can go to a dyno and drop 3 psi in your tires. You'll see a difference on it.
So, but 3.5% is a small difference that could easily be accounted for by many different things.
I think exactly. We're not saying one way or the other, but you need to isolate a lot more variables than to answer any of that.
The parasitic loss combined with some tire pressure, and maybe one mod difference, and it could easily account for that. So it would be interesting to take, afterwards to go on the street with both those cars and try to do some type of racing. Although
running meth in O2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So. Which could increase the octane.
Now it looks like one car was on a meth too and one wasn't. So there's a bunch of variables there.
But I'd say incredible result for both cars.
Yeah,
but definitely both cars are making a ton of power, and both owners should be very happy. One more giveaway, real quick, for the people that have hung in to the very end.
Yeah, that's dealer's choice. What do you want to give away?
How about a nice hat?
Ooh, we have
a hat
hats.
of their choice.
We have hats.
Anything to cover your lip.
Okay. What's the stakes? We prepared a bunch. Now it's your call.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know. What's something that we've talked about a lot that if anyone was paying attention, they would know?
Where do you go to get answers about a product, either hardware or software?
That's right. If you have a question that's not easily answered by the website, what step do you take to get an answer? That's a great question. Let's see.
I like how Nick pitched it as dealer's choice and then came up with the question himself.
I agree with that because I wasn't coming up with anything, so he acted. Anything in the future for hybrid turbos or full frame turbos on Daza? I don't know. We actually had a meeting about this last week.
Yep.
There's a lot of good options for the Daza already, and it's such a small market. So we probably won't go that direction. There are already a number of good choices for anyone that would like. I think we will move on to B9 options and things like that because, that market it's very small and very highly contested. Everyone wants to get in on it.
So the winner is
Hold on, because there's
a lot of variations.
There's a lot of variations.
We can decide
what
is it. Contact at 034 Motorsport.
I think contact would be the correct one now because we're talking
contact.
I think
is the right answer.
Then the winner is ASLEPN 3.
There you go.
But the first person that said tuning, I'd be willing to give them a hat.
You're gonna have to check all the.
We got a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give the first person that said tuning. These are both options. Of course, if you have a question about tuning, don't email contact. Email tuning at. So. All right. This was
I think this was a question for the Crackle one, but it was Bigfoot's gargle. That's pretty good. Yeah, because it's after elf farts and some other. Okay, yeah, that was the.
Well, everyone, thank you for making our 34th live chat so special. We appreciate it. It was great questions. It was fun talking about all the topics you guys brought up, and we hope those of you that won enjoy your swag.
Yep.
And thank you for being here and participating. This has been, I'd say, this has been a tough year, and I think doing this every week, I look forward to it. On Sunday night, I look forward to doing it the next morning. I think for us, it's given us a chance to have a voice with the market and with the customers.
Yep.
And it's been an incredibly positive experience. We really appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. Cheers. We will see you in 2021.
Yeah,
I
I guess we're. I guess
I don't think
we're
we'll do a show
not
next
gonna
week
have one
because
next week because it's holiday time.
maybe we will if we want to. But
potentially.
otherwise, if we don't see you, we'll do it. We'll see you in 2021.
Well, let me update my text thing quick here.
All right.
Yeah,
A little uncertainty.
there we go. All right.
Thanks,
See
everybody.
you guys.